Welcome to this explainer. Okay, let's just dive right into this with a scientific fact that might totally surprise you. You've looked up at it your entire life, but the beautiful blue sky above us, it's technically an illusion. From a purely physical standpoint, the true color of the sky is actually violet. Yeah, you heard that right, a bluish purple. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably remembering every sunny day you've ever experienced and wondering how on earth that could possibly be true. Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
So, if the sky is violet, why do we see blue? To understand this, we have to look at this brilliant collision between physics and our own human biology. You see, sunlight is a mix of all the colors of the rainbow, right? And violet light travels in the absolute shortest, choppiest waves. Because they're so short, violet waves crash into the gases in our atmosphere and scatter across the sky even more than blue waves do. But here is where the trick happens. First, our sun is kind of biased. It naturally emits a lot more blue light than violet light. And second, human eyes are heavily optimized to see blue, green, and red. Our color receptors are honestly pretty insensitive to violet. So your brain just takes that overwhelming mix of scattered blue and violet light, completely ignores the violet, and simply paints the sky a beautiful, brilliant blue.
Moving on to Section 1, 5 Secrets of Sky Science.
To make this perfectly clear for learners of absolutely any age, let's break down the 5 undeniable secrets of sky science. First up, sunlight looks white, but it secretly holds all the colors of the rainbow perfectly blended together. Second, those colors travel through space in different-sized waves. You can think of red and orange as these long, lazy, rolling ocean waves, while blue and violet are incredibly short, fast, bouncy, choppy waves. Third, Earth's atmosphere acts as a massive physical filter packed with tiny gas molecules. Fourth, like we just talked about, our human eye biology literally alters our reality by filtering out the violet. And fifth, the thickness of the atmosphere that the light travels through dictates the magnificent colors we see at sunset. Keep these 5 rules in your back pocket because they literally govern everything we're about to see.
Okay, Section 2, How Light Waves Travel and a History of the Sky. Let's rewind. Billions of years ago, as the young Earth was forming, immense heat and pressure deep underground forced gases into bubbles within molten rock. These bubbles rose to the surface and burst, releasing the very gases that formed our early atmosphere, which, by the way, is a process volcanoes still do today. Fast forward to the 19th century, and a scientist named John Tyndall started running experiments. He's the one who proved that air and its tiny particles scatter sunlight's rays into different colors. But the ultimate dramatic proof of this came in 1883. The volcano Krakatoa erupted with the loudest sound ever heard by modern humans. We're talking an unimaginably loud 310 decibels. The eruption blasted billions of particles into the atmosphere, painting the entire globe with vivid, wildly scattered light. It proved these scientific theories on a planetary scale. And the best part? You can actually test this exact same science right in your own kitchen. It's super simple. If you take a clear tank of water and shine a white flashlight through it, the light just looks white. But if you add just a few drops of milk, which acts exactly like the gas molecules in our atmosphere, something amazing happens. If you look at the tank from this side, it's going to glow a beautiful blue. The milk particles are crashing into those short, choppy blue light waves and bouncing them out sideways to your eyes. But if you look at the very end of the tank, where the light is pointing, it'll look yellowish red. The blue has been completely scattered away, leaving only the long, lazy red and yellow waves to travel straight through to you.
So now we can put official names to what we're actually seeing here. That first effect is called Rayleigh scattering. This happens when light hits particles that are much smaller than the light waves themselves, like the tiny nitrogen and oxygen gases in our clean air. These tiny molecules are what bounce the short, choppy blue waves all over the place, giving us our classic blue days. But when the particles in the air get bigger, roughly the same size as the light waves themselves, like dust, haze, or smoke, we get me scattering. Me scattering completely blocks and scatters away the shorter blue and green light, allowing only the longest wavelengths, those rich reds and oranges, to pass on through.
All right, Section 3, Sunsets, Clouds, and Mars. The real magic of a sunset essentially comes down to distance. During midday, the sun is directly overhead. Its light travels a relatively short distance through the atmosphere to reach you, scattering just enough blue to paint the sky. But at sunset, the sun is low on the horizon. That light is now passing through a slanted angle,
slicing through up to 40 times more atmosphere. Just think about that. By the time that light finally reaches your eyes, every single bit of the short blue light has been scattered completely away into space. So what's left? Only those incredibly long, lazy red, orange, and yellow wavelengths that have the power to punch straight through that thick blanket of air. But wait a second, if the atmosphere scatters blue, why are clouds so bright and white? Well, unlike tiny invisible gas molecules, the water droplets inside clouds are absolutely massive compared to a light wave. A single droplet can contain 100 trillion water molecules. So when white sunlight hits a cloud, it doesn't trigger Rayleigh scattering. Instead, these massive droplets act like a quadrillion tiny glass prisms. They bounce, bend, and reflect every single color of the rainbow equally in all directions. And when you mix all the colors of light back together in every direction, what do you get? Pure, brilliant white. Now, this scientific model is so reliable that we can even use it to predict the weather on other planets. Let's take a quick trip to Mars. On Earth, our nitrogen-rich air gives us a blue day and a red sunset, right? Well, Mars has a very thin atmosphere permanently filled with relatively large iron-rich dust particles. These particles absorb blue light and scatter red light during the day, giving Mars its famous reddish-orange sky. But at sunset, when the sun's light pushes through the thickest part of the Martian dust, those particles actually forward scatter the remaining blue light directly toward the observer, which means as the sun sinks beneath the horizon on Mars, it's surrounded by a breathtaking, eerie blue halo. It's basically the exact opposite of Earth. Moving to Section 4, pollution, red skies, and real-world impact. Before we go any further, it is crucial to state a standard health disclaimer regarding this topic. The heavy wildfire smoke and PM 2.5 particulate pollution we are about to discuss presents severe, dangerous respiratory hazards. If you find yourself in an area affected by heavy smoke or dense smog, please stay indoors, use appropriate filtration, and consult medical professionals if you are experiencing health impacts. So, taking that into account, how does pollution actually change the sky? By introducing larger particles into the air, pollution triggers that Me scattering we talked about earlier, completely overriding the natural blue Rayleigh scattering. If you have moderate, fine pollution, it actually amplifies the sunset, creating these unbelievably vivid neon pink and purple skies. But if you have heavy wildfire smoke, the blanket overhead becomes so thick that it filters out all light except the absolute longest red wavelengths. This can turn a midday sky into a dark, apocalyptic amber twilight. And if you have dense urban smog, which is filled with wildly different-sized soot and chemicals, it scatters all light indiscriminately. That creates a dull, muddy gray whiteout. In extreme smoke, the physical filter is so heavy it dims the sun's glare entirely, literally turning the sun itself into a stark, glowing, blood-red orb. Now, this isn't just fascinating trivia, it is incredibly useful science. Understanding exactly how light scatters off different-sized particles allows organizations like NASA to launch Earth-observing satellites into orbit. By measuring the exact colors and wavelengths of light bouncing off our atmosphere, these satellites can track invisible atmospheric aerosols, map dangerous pollution, and help weather forecasters issue warnings to ensure our air remains safe to breathe. The color of the sky is quite literally a real-time data map of our planet's health. Which brings us to our final thought for today. We now know that our sky is secretly violet but looks blue because of our eyes. We know that the sky turns red at sunset because the blue is scattered away, and we know that dust and smog can turn the sky pink, orange, or even gray. So the ultimate question to leave you with is this. If tiny gas molecules make a blue sky on Earth, and iron dust makes a red sky on Mars, what spectacular, unimaginable colors are painting the skies of millions of undiscovered exoplanets across the universe right this very second? The physics is exactly the same, but the canvas is infinite. The next time you look up at a beautiful blue afternoon or a fiery red sunset, just remember the magnificent, invisible machinery of waves and molecules making it all happen. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, keep looking up.